Hello and welcome to day 2 of flow posting. Just because I want to post what flows. I'm Crystal Tottenham from Crystal Clear Coaching, and I am just really excited to share tools that are going to help you tune in for yourself, be able to discern for yourself when it's you speaking from your heart, your soul, and when it's outside conditioning, other people's opinions, society, whatever, insert system here that is actually just taking over your brain and your body, and then being able to then choose from there whether you do what lights you up and excites you for you and you alone, or you decide, well, that's a commitment I'm going to honour, but you find a way to work towards, hopefully, finding the way for yourself forward to actually do more of what excites you. And hopefully we can figure out a way for that to be possible within your own life. And sometimes, if this is all a new journey for you, you might find that it feels very unsafe to go down the path that feels like it lights you up the most. And it might mean that there are some blocks in the way. In fact, it does mean there's blocks in the way, but that you might not get accepted by those around you, that they might not accept your journey, and that might mean no longer having them in your life, or having them at a different capacity, whatever it shows up as. And it's up to you to reconcile what's most important to you. Is it these relationships? Are they maybe lighting you up, and it's okay for you in this moment in time to put the other thing that lights you up off? Or is it actually recognizing that these relationships in your life are actually not serving you and what you want for your life and your highest good, for what actually really excites you and what you feel purposeful doing in your life? So yeah, there's always lots to unpack here, and you can spend a lifetime doing it, but I think that's all part of the game of life. So it's always best to look at these topics from a place of curiosity. The more we can, instead of making things so serious all the time, the more we can actually look for ourselves without it being this big, dramatic, scary thing to look at, we can just take that curiosity and use that as a gateway to make your way into your better understanding of yourself, without it being so serious. And I really think any way that you can uncover the things that are in your way to doing and living the life that most lights you up, the reaching the dreams that you want to dream, isn't that the most worthy thing to do with your time? I am very much an advocate for people learning how to truly love and trust themselves at a deep soul level. And it might be that you have already a very supportive family, friends, and people around you, work colleagues, and you feel relatively supported, but there's just some things you want to tweak, or certain goals you want to reach, and maybe it's a bit more structured. You just need help staying accountable. I am all for meeting you in that kind of circumstance, but also maybe it's that you don't even know, like you haven't even begun to look as to what could light you up, and you're in a life that you don't know how you got here, and you just feel like you're following that path that you're supposed to have followed, and what you should do, and you find it's just not feeling great. It's feeling hopeless. It's feeling just like, where is my life going? What am I even doing? Does anything excite me anymore? And maybe it's that you've so learnt to put down the things that excite you, because it wasn't important, or it wasn't the thing that was going to make you money, and it wasn't helping you quote unquote survive, or wasn't serving a purpose that society, people around you, systems around you will tell you that you need to put ahead of your passion, ahead of things that light you up. And if I'm speaking to someone from a perspective where you don't feel that you're creative at all, you don't feel like you even know where to start with being creative, that's okay too. But what is there? What's something? Hopefully, some things that you have noticed. You've been out somewhere with a friend, and there was, for instance, a face painting booth, and you thought, man, that's so cool. I'd love to learn how to paint faces like that. I just love that, the joy it brings, and you could really find that fascinating. Or whatever it is. Maybe you go to the theatre for the first time in a while, and you just are so inspired by the performers and what they're putting on, or the costumes, or the art and design of it, like the set and the props. You just find that so cool how they put that together. It's just finding those little things to follow, those little lights that show up when you dare to step into the world, and just finding out a little bit more about that, and following down that path for a little while, and just playing with what could be something that lights you up if you don't feel like you know yet. Or maybe you already know the things that could light you up, but you haven't been making time for them. So how can you make time for them? How can you choose to make sure you're, doing one thing a week, for instance, that is going towards something that excites you? How can you, bring back that childlike wonder and curiosity about everything? We can so believe that we've figured all these things out as adults, and, we've learnt so much, and that children are, down there beneath us, with love, but don't they just naturally know how to find moments of joy? Don't they feel their feelings immediately? I think there's something that society teaches us to unlearn, from that innate, intuitive, childlike wonder that we had when we were younger. And I just want to invite you to invite that back into your life, basically. And don't take it so seriously. If you want to do something that is perceived as childlike, then great, just do it. If you're going to enjoy it, do it. Embrace it. Maybe it's that you want to, you choose to take your niece or nephew, or a child that is connected to you in some way, to, a playground, and you just decide to actually play with them rather than watch them play, and just see, oh man, I remember this feeling when I was younger. When did I stop doing this? And how many other places in your life are you stopping doing the things that you really, really used to love? So yeah, I didn't actually know what I was going to talk about when I got on here. I just knew I wanted to talk about, how we tune in. So this is what's come out is all perfect. It's great. Curiosity is a very important word to me. I have followed my curiosity around the world in different places, and I have a bit of my background is that I've worked on film sets as a costumer mostly, sometimes as an art assistant, and with huge teams of people. I don't actually do much that would be perceived as quote unquote creative. I am just helping put on the costumes on the actors and the extras and the stunt people that have already been decided by the creative team, what we call the creative team. So the designer and their team, or if I'm working in like set decoration, it's, you know, the set decorator and their team. They've already decided everything when I'm like helping out, putting things in place or tweaking things for camera. Like, it's already, like, all the creative sides of things has happened, and yet I still feel very creative when I work on a set in that capacity on standby, because it's collaborative. It's like it's with a community of people, and you know, between the actors and the camera people and the lighting techs and you know, costume, makeup, hair, the art department, the locations people, the assistant directors, the director, the director of photography. Like, there's so many departments and roles in film. I could talk for days about it, but the point is, there's so many people involved and it's so collaborative, and just that in itself, just by having to communicate with this well-oiled machine that still sometimes goes off the rails in a fast-paced environment, even if I'm not creatively sewing something, I still feel so creative. And so creativity doesn't have to look like what you quote-unquote think creativity is. Like, so many of us were told that creativity is being a painter, or like, you know, just or a graphic designer. You know, there's just so much more. Creativity is the way you live. It can be how you show up in the world, in a team environment, in a corporate office if you want to, you know, like there's just, I just want to widen perspectives of what creativity is and how you can tap into it for yourself. And maybe you do, quote unquote, do like a creative role that really is a beautiful space that is the tried and true understood creative way of being. Like, maybe you write music, or you play an instrument, and these things are all so welcome and all part of the fabric of this world. And the more we can choose to do them with, like, choosing curiosity and choosing joy rather than feeling like we have to and it's this burden on our shoulders, the more that we'll show up and play, we'll create art that really speaks to others. And, you know, it's very easy also in this day and age to feel like I just need to make money so that I can feed myself and shelter myself and survive, and maybe one day I'll get to think about being creative. So, if you're kind of more on that boat lately, I invite you to just see how you can crowbar in a bit of curiosity and joy, and even just do one small thing a week to just nurture creativity in whatever form speaks to you. And it could be that you actually choose to say yes to a social engagement, that maybe it's a paint and sip night and you actually pick up a paintbrush for the first time in years. Something that maybe you loved doing at high school, but you just never get around to doing it for yourself. And maybe it's that you just, maybe you're at a exercise class and your creativity is like, actually you came up with a great joke you want to tell someone that you just met, and then maybe that sparks up the creative collaboration of friendship. I don't know, like, it's a little bit nerdy, but I love it. So I invite you to be curious as to what lights you up, and what lights you up, and not what other people around you think lights you up, because they might know you really well on the outside, and whatever you portray yourself to be on the outside. And I'm not saying that you're trying to deceive anyone, but we're all taught to wear masks in this world, and often we wear the mask so well that we forget we're even wearing a mask. Sit with that. Do you want this mask to become you, and then you feel just dark and unfulfilled the rest of your life, and the excitement really finds you? Is that the kind of life you want to live? I mean, I would hope not. So, yeah, curiosity. Let's lean into it. Alright, I think we'll leave it there today. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I never know what's going to come out, but I am always excited to just flow with this posting and share what comes out. And if it's resonating, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear any feedback. I'm holding space for your best and highest, and you finding that light for yourself and that curiosity for yourself. Much love, and see you tomorrow.